What's up? Back at it. My name's Omari. Nice to see y'all.
Welcome back to the episode number 2 of the podcast. And today, what do you guys want to talk about?
Well, I can start off with my New England Patriots and the terrible performance that we put up yesterday.
I'm going to be stepping in for Lamar as the Ravens fan here if he's going the Patriots way.
They absolutely disgusted me, disappointed me, and they made me look like a clown. I hyped them up to win the game, and they disappointed me 100%. No excuses. We got our butts handed to us, and I hope that after this bye week we get our act together and we get back to the winning Patriot way that I know that we can do.
I just got one question for you, Omari.
What?
What killed the Patriots the most yesterday?
People will say the defense, but at the same time, I feel like Tom Brady and Josh McDaniels, they have to put the ball in the end zone. You cannot continuously kick field goals against a team that is very good at possessioning the football with their running game. The running game is elite. Passing game can use some work, but if Lamar Jackson get a passing game, it's going to look scary.
What about penalties?
Hey, the Ravens offense said, walk 'em like a dog.
Very undisciplined by the Patriots, very unpatriot-like. We had some very uncharacteristic penalties that were called against us. Ones that costed us points, ones that extended drives. Again, I feel like the players, they just didn't come to play, and the Ravens just got the best of them that night. So kudos to the Ravens, but the Patriots got to get back to their winning ways.
What do you say about that? How did you feel about the Ravens offense that night?
They couldn't stop Lamar Jackson. Screw the rest of the running game. You couldn't stop his running game, and he's the quarterback.
He only had 61 yards. Mark Ingram had, about 115 yards on 10 carries?
Yeah,
that's about what?
How many other quarterbacks in the league?
That's about what? That's about 10
That's
yards a carry?
That's 61
That's
yards
terrible.
you could have saved.
That's terrible. But at the same time, like I said, when Tom Brady has the ball in the red zone, he has to put the ball in the end zone. We cannot continuously kick field goals against good teams, especially teams that like to run the ball and control the clock and keep Tom Brady on the sideline. So your possessions are already limited. So when you get your possessions, you got to put the ball in the end zone.
If you also have a receiver like Julian Edelman, I think the screen passes need to stop.
No, honestly, that play made me a little mad, but that's the first time Julian Edelman has lost a fumble in 3 seasons. So, like I said, he's a very ball security type of receiver, so you can't even get mad at him right there. It's just a good play by the Ravens. But a lot of mistakes that happened that shouldn't have happened, and a lot of mistakes that can be prevented in the future. So I hope that Bill Belichick gets his team together and we get back to the patriotic way of winning.
Mistakes were made by the Patriots, yes, but they still just got absolutely dismantled by.
Would you blame the
Ravens
offense
for
or the
mistakes.
defense more?
I blame the offense. You have the chance to put the ball in the end zone. You're the greatest quarterback to ever play the in the football league, so you have to put the ball in the end zone. There's just no excuses. I understand that your weapons aren't as strong as they used to be with Gronkowski missing and James Devlin, and your running game is a little, not there, so to say. And you have a lot of injuries on your team, but at the same time, your play calling has to be better by Josh McDaniels, and you got to play like you're not a chicken with your head cut off, running around.
So, first loss of the season, can we all agree on that they need to bring Antonio Brown back?
I would say no, but this is the first team that they played with some actual competition in them, so to say, and I would agree. So we got a little punched in our mouth, but to just go back to the drawing board and just get back on track. We got a bye week this week, recuperate, regather ourselves, and just get back to winning. We got a tough schedule coming ahead. We have the Eagles, the Texans, the Cowboys, and I believe the Chiefs. So those are 4 games. Both teams are over 500, and both teams are very competitive. So if we come out and play like the Ravens again, we might be on a 5-game losing streak.
You'll definitely see the Ravens again.
Speaking
In the
of,
playoffs.
you said the Eagles they play next?
Yep.
Yes, our next game is against the Philadelphia Eagles.
So, the Bears played the Eagles, didn't they?
Yep, and the Bears got walked like dog.
No,
So,
the Bears still have yet to find a quarterback. Mitchell Trubisky is an absolute disgrace. He had about 2 passing yards in the first quarter, I believe.
Yep.
That is an utter disgrace. I might as well punt the football and make our defense get turnovers for us. If that's the case. Make me play quarterback. I can do the same thing he's doing. I can hand the ball off.
Is that Chicago's biggest problem, the quarterback, or is it the kicker too?
No, the Chicago's biggest problem is the quarterback.
I mean, you can somewhat blame it on the kicker for missing, but
What's their record now?
overall,
The Bears are currently 3-5, and I believe they have the number one worst offense in the NFL. Excluding the Miami Dolphins, of course. I don't even think they're an NFL team.
I'll agree with that.
Is it time for them to tank?
Time for them to tank? I would say yeah, but at the same time, with hope, everybody in the NFC North lost yesterday. But the Bears lost too, so it's not like they capitalized on that. So they're just putting themselves in holes that they really right now cannot dig themselves out of.
I mean, would you even say that it's like a good idea to tank, considering that the Raiders have their first round pick?
I mean, maybe, but like I said, the Bears are not making the playoffs unless they win the division, and right now it's not looking too good. So I can guarantee you in the NFC, the wild card spot, it may come out the NFC North, but it may not. So if the Bears want to see any type of playoff chances, they have to win their division.
Okay. What do you think?
I think they should tank. It was said yesterday, and I agreed with it offhand by Lamar. They need to tank, get a high draft pick, and pray to God they can get Jalen Hurts.
I mean, are they Jalen Hurts?
I don't think they have any draft picks. I don't think it's like the NBA. You just get draft picks out of nowhere. They gave all of their number one draft picks for a couple years. It's not like they have a future to look forward to. And with the defense they have right now, I don't think tanking would be a great idea because you're just going to be basically putting a slap on the defense. And some players might not want to play for Chicago if they have that mentality of just give up right now. And that elite defense just might not be there next year.
Would you blame the coaching on that part too for the Bears?
Yeah, I can blame the coaching. Matt Nagy has to do better play calling. But if you have a quarterback that's incapable of running the plays that you're calling, it's like a double whammy.
It's not a quarterback that's incapable of it. It's a quarterback that's afraid to do it. He's afraid to throw the ball.
Yeah. Mitch Trubisky has showed.
You said earlier that it's a disgrace. I'm not going to use that word. I'm just going to call it lack of confidence. He builds up some confidence in himself. He'll do fine.
Mitch Trubisky will always be compared to Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson because they were in the same draft class. Mitch Trubisky will always be known as the quarterback that the Bears traded up to the number 1-2 spot to pick him ahead of Deshaun Watson and the former reigning MVP, Patrick Mahomes.
Of those three, Mitchell Trubisky is the worst, yes. But build up some confidence. Maybe that won't be the case in future seasons.
You can't build up the confidence if as soon as you snap the ball, you feel like the pocket is collapsing on you. His pocket awareness is terrible, and the way he breaks down plays, it's just like he's not developing at all.
Right, being afraid, lack of confidence. A, in your offensive line, and B, in your ability to throw the ball quickly, see an open pass.
Are they in the playoffs right now?
No, the Bears are currently 3-5, nowhere near the playoffs.
How many games are they behind for the playoffs?
They are, I believe, 3 games behind the Packers, considering that the Packers just lost yesterday.
Okay.
Speaking of playoffs, I would have to say that my top 5 teams to make the Super Bowl, well, I'm going to go top 5, including both conferences, Super Bowl matchups. I'm going to go Patriots 1, 49ers 2, the Green Bay Packers 3, Baltimore Ravens 4, and the Kansas City Chiefs 5. Now I'm talking about all teams are healthy and all teams have all their weapons available. Those teams can be very dangerous to see against one another.
Disagree?
Of course he disagrees. I didn't name the New Orleans Saints.
I mean, now that you got Drew Brees back, you don't think that they're a contender? They're a top 5 contender for a Super Bowl?
I mean, were they really that in trouble with Teddy Bridgewater as their quarterback?
No, because Teddy Bridgewater went, 5-0 as their starting quarterback this season?
The Saints are like the Boston Celtics. They're
even
elite,
winning without players like
but they're
Alvin
not
Kamara.
elite.
You think the Boston Celtics are elite right now?
The Boston Celtics are elite by default. That's exactly what I mean by the Saints. They're elite by default. The NFC, all they have right now is, I want to say, the Green Bay Packers, the 49ers, who are no doubt a very, very good team, even though Jimmy Garoppolo isn't the best quarterback, and his defense has basically been making him look very good. And the Dallas Cowboys, but at the same time, the Dallas Cowboys have been having a lot of struggles, and they seem like they're slipping away to the Eagles with the division as well. So, with the Cowboys, as Stephen A. Smith says, what can go wrong will go wrong.
I agree with your top 5 except for the Packers. I am replacing the Packers in your list with the Saints.
The Packers will dog walk the Saints. Don't do that. Dog walk. Aaron Rodgers has a defense this year.
So does the Saints. So do the Saints.
But Aaron Rodgers is a bad man.
So is Drew Brees, especially with offensive weapons like Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara.
I don't know, man. He threw a pick at the 50-yard line in the NFC Conference Championship.
Last season.
I don't know.
Every quarterback has made a mistake. I bet you if I go back, I can find plenty of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I can agree. But Aaron Rodgers never had the team that Drew Brees has ever had.
Okay, agreed. But he's got a really good team now.
Yeah. Same with Tom Brady. He's never had the requisite weapons that any quarterback has ever had. But 6-time champion, the greatest of all time, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but
Nobody's denying that.
Anywho,
I
my
mean,
sleeper
replace the
team.
Patriots with the Saints.
Did you even name your top 5 yet?
I said it's the same as yours, except minus the Packers. I'm replacing him with the Saints.
Okay. My sleeper team in NFL, I'm just going to pick one from both conferences. I believe the Baltimore Ravens, after what they showed me last night, they have a very potential to make a run in the playoffs based off how they control their clock and their possession of the football. They're a very mistake-free team, and when they do make mistakes, it's very little. And when they have the ball, they prove that they can put the ball in the end zone, which is what wins you football games. And that blitzing, attacking defense that they run, it's not the easiest to game plan against. And when you got 11 bodies flying at you, you got to make a very fast read. And some quarterbacks, they're just not capable of doing so. They made Tom Brady look like a clown last night. And
That
I can
goal
say
line
that.
defense was pretty great.
Their red zone defense was looking absolutely amazing. And that's what kind of made me a little mad with the Patriots, because they got the ball in the red zone plenty of times, but they kept settling for field goals.
All right. Max, who's your sleeper team?
I'm just going to add on to his. I can't deny that it's the Ravens. I mean, I can name any other team, that's fine, but I'm just going to end up being wrong at the end of the season. The only difference I'm going to make in my reasoning is Lamar Jackson's run game. I get, no, never mind. I'll take what I was going to say back. No, I didn't say it. 61 yards from a quarterback, rushing, imagine. And then on top of that, Mark Ingram going for how many on top of that? It's just a run game that's unstoppable.
Their offensive line has a great deal to do with that. Besides the Cowboys, the Ravens has the best offensive line in the NFL.
Facts.
And one thing I can say about Lamar Jackson, it's been proven, I'm not just stating this out of hatred or despite, it's been proven that in the NFL, a scrambling quarterback, his career just doesn't last as long. And I'm not saying that Lamar Jackson cannot throw the ball, because it's been proven that he can, but I just pray that if he's healthy enough, he can become a very good quarterback in the future. But if he's not cautious with sliding and getting down and avoiding big hits, because he was taking a lot of hits for some heavy guys
He
last
was
night.
getting tackled. He wasn't sliding very much.
He wasn't sliding at all. He was taking some hits for some very big guys in the NFL. And those guys, those strong, and when they land on you, I promise you'll feel it. Probably not then, but a day later, you'll start feeling that.
He'll get to the realization that he's going to have to stop running as much. Obviously, there's going to be times where he has to run the ball himself, yes. And is he the best quarterback in the NFL to do it? Yes.
Yeah, no doubt. He will go down as the best rushing quarterback in the NFL history. No one is going to come close to him.
He already holds
at all.
What was the record they gave him last night?
He has 4 games with over 100 rushing yards as a quarterback. That's tied for second most.
Nah, he definitely has is the lead.
Yeah, he's leading
something. I can't remember what it was.
He's leading. I believe he's fourth in the NFL in rushing yards right now. I believe so. But I know he's number 1 in quarterback rushing yards, and it's by far no one is close to him.
So without Lamar Jackson, who is right now the best rushing quarterback ever?
The best rushing quarterback ever, I believe.
Lamar Jackson.
Michael Vick.
Okay.
Steve Young. Who else? Donovan McNabb? No.
Oh,
What was his name? Warren Moon? Was that dude?
Is he from Philly?
No, Warren Moon's from the Cowboys, I believe.
No, I thought he was from the Titans.
Warren Moon?
Yeah.
I believe so.
I'm just gonna stick with Michael Vick. Sure, he has problems outside of the league. Got himself suspended.
Yeah.
Got himself suspended a few times. Maybe more than a few. But I can't believe that's not a conversation yet.
Yeah,
Lamar Jackson versus Michael Vick as a Russian quarterback.
that has been brought up. They say he's a bigger and stronger Michael Vick version of Michael Vick. But when I think about Lamar Jackson, I just go back to RG3 when he had a very good season, and then in the playoffs against the Cowboys, he tore his ACL on the read option play.
Mm-hmm.
So with stuff like that, you just got to be careful and just be more aware and get down, because another quarterback who has the similarities as Lamar Jackson is Cam Newton right now. And Cam Newton is battling a lot of injuries due to the physicality he's endured in the NFL and all the hits he's taken being a big quarterback.
Is RG3 still in the league?
RG3 is no longer still in the league.
Really?
Cam Newton's also.
I believe RG3 was a backup for the Ravens last year.
Yep.
Yeah, he was.
And then you got Cam Newton, who I'm pretty sure is no longer going to be the starter for the Carolina Panthers.
Should he go to Chicago?
With
Would you
his
like that idea?
injuries, with his injuries,
I'd love to have him in Chicago. I'll ship Mitch Trubisky on a one round trip anywhere. Canadian Football League, get him out of here.
with the amount of injuries he's had, and he's prone to just keep getting them. For now, I would stick with Mitch.
What I can say about
Don't
Lamar
get me wrong,
Jackson,
I know Cam Newton's a better quarterback. I know that for a fact. But he's prone to keep getting injuries. I mean, look at it. Look at this guy. If he was good enough to keep, Carolina wouldn't be talking about not starting him anymore. Would I want him on the Bears? Not in this state.
if Lamar Jackson is healthy and he continues to play as well as he's doing, he's going to set a very high standard for mobile quarterbacks coming out of college for the NFL. Just like Patrick Mahomes, that gunslinger type, heavy offense, high-powered offense. Lamar Jackson with his scrambling ability and his ability to run the football and protect the football, he himself is making it very easier for teams to go from the traditional pocket passer to more of a mobile quarterback. And one example I can make of that is Jalen Hurts out of Oklahoma. He has a very similar play style to Lamar Jackson, even though he's not as athletic as Lamar Jackson. But he's becoming a very, very better quarterback in Oklahoma, and his passing skills are getting better, and he's very much producing at a high elite level against very good teams in the Division I collegiate football in NCAA. And with that being said, I believe Jalen Hurts has a very bright future ahead of him, and I can say that solely because of Lamar Jackson and the way he's implemented his talents into the NFL, and how he's very unorthodox in what you're not used to seeing, and how it's so hard to game plan against that, as you can tell with last night with the Patriots, how the defense looked like they were running around like chickens with their heads cut off because they wasn't accustomed to seeing the unorthodox style of football that Lamar Jackson displays at the quarterback position.
Okay, so Week 7 starts this week, right?
Week for the NFL.
Yeah. There's a
Week
8.
9.
This was
Week 9
week
just
9.
ended, so Week
We're
10
going into
starts.
Week 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Jesus.
I know, right?
Adam Jackson would have been out of the league.
So, Week 10 just started?
Yeah. And,
Okay.
it's November football, getting to December. Time to get into the playoff mode, grit and grimy football. This is where champions are made. November, December, that's where you see the teams that really start to step up and they start to show their true colors. And the Ravens, they looked scary last night.
The Ravens showed their true colors last night.
The Ravens showed that November football is here. It's time. And the next 5 weeks, I believe, is the most competitive football we'll see, and we're going to see who's really made of what they're made of. And so far, the Patriots, they ain't look so good. So,
Coming off an 8-0 record, I think you can have at least one game in the season, even though you're Tom Brady and you're Bill Belichick and you're Julian Edelman and you're the Patriots all together. I think you can have one game where you just don't play very well.
see, but the thing is,
I'll give them a pass on last night. They did get walked. They got pounded. They made too many stupid mistakes. Like, they had 2 neutral zone infractions in a row, I believe. No, not in a row. Actually, maybe.
but the thing is, the narrative that was built around the Patriots that they haven't played a legit team this year. And so the 8-0 start that they had was really kind of dummied down based on the competition that they played. Now, I believe that you can't blame Tom Brady for the schedule that he has to face and the lack of competition that he has played so far. That's kind of not his fault.
You gotta, even Tom has said, though, that the offense is still a work in progress
Yeah.
for this season. After losing a big role like Rob Gronkowski, that offense is kind of broken no matter what their record is looking like this season.
Yeah, but the Patriots, they're going to get healthier as the season progresses. They'll get their starting left tackle back and Isaiah Wynn, which we desperately need, and we'll get our receiver N'Keal Harris, I believe is his name. He has the potential to be a very requisite weapon for Tom Brady, along with Mohamed Sanu and Julian Edelman. And James White is going to be James White, and Sony Michel, they're going to get back to their football ways, as the Patriots usually do. They're going to bounce back, just a tough L. No excuses.
Nope. No.
So, who's the championship favorite as of now for you
It's
guys?
obviously still the Patriots.
I still believe it's the Patriots, It's kind of hard to
for the
rule them
Saints?
I,
out.
you two both know what kind of a Saints fan I am, but I'm also a realist, and it's still looking like the Patriots, not just based on their record. They do have a broken offense, but Tom still makes it work. The defense still plays their part.
You know what I would like to see match up? The 49ers versus the Baltimore Ravens. The 49ers has a very great defensive line, and I don't believe they'll be able to just run all over them like they did to the New England Patriots. I believe the 49ers have the number one defense in the NFL, and the Patriots are right behind them at number 2.
Oh, to go back what I just said, after last season and Drew Brees and his mistake, and he did make a mistake. He threw a pick late in the game when he shouldn't have. But morale got kind of destroyed after a no-call, blatant pass interference. Can't blame him for that. Morale gets destroyed after that. Drew Brees is coming back. He came back after his injury, a demon, wearing a brace on his thumb.
Yeah, but
His throwing hand.
You say morale, but I go back and I can just tell you how much adversity that the Saints have been through and how much perseverance that they have. Drew Brees is a professional. He has a short memory because if you recall a couple years ago, the miraculous catch by Stephon Diggs over the safety Williams in Minnesota.
The year before last.
Yeah. You know how devastating that was to the Saints and how they bounced back and they found themselves in the NFC Conference Championship to get not only cheated, but another miraculous, play happening to end their season. I feel like they're going to have a short memory and just get back to their winning ways as the New Orleans Saints usually do.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they're not going to do anything. I'm saying that they're going back.
But one thing I can say is if New Orleans Saints find a way to have number one seed in the NFC and they have to, in the road to the Super Bowl, has to go through the Mercedes Dome, you better watch out because that dome it's a real thing.
Saints at home, too dangerous.
And another thing I can say with the Patriots, if they have the number one seed in the AFC, the road to Super Bowl through Foxborough, I feel like that's going to be a very
Also
potential
dangerous.
game changer. If the Patriots were not to make the Super Bowl, I feel like it'll be because they have to win a couple games on the road. So with that being said,
I'm going to go out and call it right now. The 49ers are winning it all.
I don't believe so. I believe Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't yet to reach his full potential.
Here's my argument to that.
They're winning it all.
You're going based on an undefeated season right now, right?
No, I'm just calling a team.
Based on what? An undefeated season currently?
No, I would say based on how the 49ers kind of they kind of mirror the Bears. But the thing is, the 49ers, they have a quarterback that can actually get the ball down the field. And they have, I believe, like a top 5 rushing team that they have. They run the ball very efficiently, and they run the ball very well, just like the Baltimore Ravens do.
My only argument to a 49ers winning the Super Bowl is that I thought the same thing for a completely different sport in the collegiate level. When Kentucky was going into March Madness undefeated and chokes in Elite Eight, right?
I think the difference is for me, it's not about who wants it more, it's about who's been there. And you've already got some guys that have already been to the Super Bowl. You've got Jimmy Garoppolo, who's had to play behind Tom Brady. I'm not saying that, he's done a lot throughout, the Super Bowl, but he knows what it's like to be there. You've also got Richard Sherman on the other end, who's been there.
A demon. The second, him and Stephon, oh my God, him and Stephon Gilmore are in the battle right now for the number one cornerback position.
Facts.
No Jalen Ramsey?
No, he's barely played this year.
Oh.
He's still great, don't get me wrong. And one thing I can back up Stevie with the 49ers, the 49ers have a very elite defense, the number 1 defense in the NFL as of through week 9. And they also have a quarterback. They actually have a quarterback that can get down the field, a very great rushing attack. And they have a head coach who was also up against Bill Belichick and the Patriots, 25 points in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. And Kyle Shanahan. So with that being said, they have a very great offensive mind, the coach, and he knows how to put points on the board. As if the Falcons were the number 1 scoring team in the NFL about 2 or 3 years ago, I believe. So with that, they have the parts around them. They just have to execute, and I feel like they wouldn't have a very hard time executing. But the one thing that can hold them back is a very young quarterback.
As long as Tom Brady has a mindset of winning another ring, I don't think there's too much anybody can do to stop him.
If Tom Brady wins another ring, I don't want to hear anyone say anything else about him. It's
Nobody's
over with.
Ever said, at least
The
to
argument's-
my knowledge,
the argument's
nobody
done now.
around us, between us, has ever said anything bad about Tom Brady.
The argument's done now. It's over with. I'm going to call out Christian, a good friend of mine, Christian. I'm sorry, pal. He's the best quarterback of all time.
I did see him call you
there's
out
no
after
changing
last night.
So if
Yeah, I didn't call him out. The Seahawks got the same business by the Ravens either, but I ain't going to say nothing.
so if the Patriots win, you finally getting that Tom Brady jersey?
I'm going to get one anyway. I'm going to have a Tom Brady jersey when the Super Bowl's happening. I'm going to come out with a cowboy hat like Stephen A. with a cigar in my mouth. You hear me?
Except he did that also. He also did that wearing a Saints jersey when the Cowboys were playing the Saints to make fun of the Cowboys because he was in Dallas.
You talking about when the Saints lost to the Cowboys?
I'm just saying that's what he was doing.
Oh, okay.
It still had something to do based on the Cowboys. Wearing a cowboy hat when there's no Cowboys in the mix. I don't know about that one.
I'm just going to go ahead and say that the 49ers are going to win it because my cousin is a very big fan of the 49ers, and they just are so happy to do pretty well this year. So I'm going to go for them as my Super Bowl odds. On top of that, who's your awards winners for this year? Who's got the MVP?
MVP.
I'm probably going MVP for this question.
Okay. MVP right now is Russell Wilson. Solely because without Russell Wilson, the Seattle Seahawks will probably be a team that probably has only won 3 games as of right now instead of 7. Number 2 right behind him, I would have to say Lamar Jackson because of the progress that he's shown, and how he's grown as a quarterback.
What is this? His only second year, third year?
This is only his second year.
Okay.
So, Lamar Jackson has been very impressive.
I'm going Lamar Jackson.
MVP.
Max is going Teddy
Right
Bridgewater,
now?
baby.
Teddy Bridgewater, no. Just because you go 5-0 replacing Drew Brees doesn't mean you're MVP contention.
That means take his job right now.
No. You're never... I don't care. There's nobody the Saints can pick up that can replace Drew Brees.
I know a couple quarterbacks that can play Drew Brees.
Oh.
Aaron Rodgers,
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, well, listen to me what I just
Tom
said.
Brady.
Let me just repeat what I just
Lamar
said.
Jackson.
Nobody
Lamar
the Saints
Jackson.
can pick up can replace
Jimmy
Drew
Garoppolo.
Brees. Do you think the
Stop
Saints
it.
can pick up players like
Stop
Aaron
it with porn
Rodgers,
star Jimmy G.
Lamar Jackson? You also said Patrick Mahomes?
Definitely Patrick Mahomes.
They can't pick him up. They can't pick any of those quarterbacks up.
I don't know.
So going on what I just said,
Maybe it's a
nobody
run.
the Saints can pick up will ever replace Drew Brees.
So, who's your MVP? You said Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, what offensive player of the year?
Offensive player of the year. Man.
Michael Thomas.
No. Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
Christian
say.
McCaffrey is definitely the offensive player of the year. He also could be in the running for MVP because without him, the Panthers, they probably would not be winning a game right now. He is solely putting that team on his back. He's the reason why Kyle Allen might be the remaining starter for the rest of the year.
Okay. What are you going to say about that? Sounded like you hesitated there.
Not much of an argument. My only thing for Michael Thomas is not just he's playing for the Saints. Don't think I'm totally, even.
Biased.
Yeah. He leads the league in total receptions and total receiving yards.
I believe he is the most number 1 targeted receiver in the league as well.
That too.
DPOY, I would have to go with Joey Bosa. No. Is that Nick Bosa
Nick Bosa.
in 49ers? Nick Bosa has been on an absolute tear.
He was the
And-
one waving the flag, right? To Baker.
No, that was George Kittle. That was
That
George
was
Kittle.
Kittle?
That was George
No, I'm
Kittle.
pretty sure that was Bosa.
No, that was Kittle.
Damn.
85 tight end. That was Kittle.
Damn.
No.
I honestly didn't see who it was. I heard it.
No, I'm
I
talking
heard about
about
it. I
I'm
never
talking about
saw
when
it.
he waved the flag and planted on the ground, imitating Baker Mayfield.
Back when Baker was playing for
Wherever he was playing for, I don't know, but like
He was at
college.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
no, but I'm talking about he was playing the Browns and
Oh, that was Nick Bosa.
yeah,
I thought it was George Kittle who did that.
yeah, because
Like,
he tackled him and
I
then
didn't see it
just
happen. I just heard that it happened.
Yeah. Here it is right here. Watching it actually.
nice. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You got him as DPOY?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What about you?
I want to say my original answer was going to be quick. I was going to say Khalil Mack mostly because
Khalil Mack has done absolutely nothing this year.
And honestly, I think that's just because of what he's done last year. They're more focused on
they're
him
focused
than
on him.
yeah, they're more focused on him than they ever have
His
been.
presence to the game, you won't see stats for it. One thing I can say, just like with Joey Bosa in the San Diego, in the
Nick
Los
Bosa.
Angeles Chargers. No, it's Joey Bosa over there in the Chargers.
Oh,
Joey Bosa, he does a lot of things on the field that you don't see show up in the stats, but that doesn't make him not a non-effective player. Just like Aaron Donald, he's going to get the most attention because he's the most dominant on the field, so he won't have as many glorifying stats to back up his name.
would
But
you say that's kind of how J.J. Watt is right now?
No, I feel bad for J.J. Watt. I was actually about to talk about that. I feel bad for him because he's a very elite force, but he cannot stay on the field. And the best ability is availability, as Stephen A. once said. And I can agree with him.
How are the Texans doing right now?
The Texans are doing good solely because of Deshaun Watson. You know, they lost J.J. Watt and they lost Jadavion McClowney, so their defense has dialed it down a little bit. But Deshaun Watson, he's showing growth, he's showing improvement, and he's showing why he and Patrick Mahomes and not Trubisky are elite quarterbacks of that class.
All right. So, is there a Rookie of the Year? Yeah.
Rookie of the Year? I believe
Is
so.
there? I'm not too sure how the...
Yeah, I think there's a Rookie of the Year.
Okay. You guys know any...
Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray has been very good. His record may not show for it though, but he's been showing progress with the team that he has, and Arizona is clearly in a rebuilding stage. And you know, the games that they've won and the games they've lost, they've been very competitive games and they've competed. Especially with a first year head coach. I believe the Kyler Murray is doing very good for an undersized, underrated quarterback.
Honestly couldn't answer that question because I don't know. I don't know many players that came out of this draft. The only one I really pay attention to is the New York Giants deciding to go with
Daniel Jones.
Yes.
How's he doing? He all right?
He's doing good.
He's not bad. It's just at the time of the draft when you had what's his name? Where did he? You went to the Redskins.
Oh, Dwayne Haskins.
Dwayne Haskins. You pass up Dwayne Haskins for some kid from Duke's football system.
Program.
Like, come on, man.
But Daniel Jones has came in. He's let the league on fire though. But
Which is why I haven't said anything past that to anybody about Daniel Jones.
Is he a candidate?
for Rookie of the Year, yeah. I feel bad for Dwayne Haskins
mostly
though.
based on the team he has.
I feel
It is
very
the
bad for
Giants.
Dwayne Haskins because I feel like he's been just thrown into a pit of lions and he hasn't been
Nobody around
prepared.
him.
Yeah, but at the same time, you can't just throw a quarterback in the NFL, a rookie quarterback at that, and expect him to do anywhere near productive. He's ill prepared and he doesn't have the team nor the coach around him to basically make him grow. So right now, I feel like he shouldn't even be playing because he's
getting
not
cheated out of
prepared.
a career in Washington.
Yeah, Washington is not a very good program. The best season they had was a 500 season with Kirk Cousins, and they were glorifying about that. So, and they lost to the Packers. They got dismantled by the Packers.
Is that it? Is that
Super
it
Bowl
for this?
MVP. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'll say Tom Brady.
I'm gonna go.
If he goes to the Super Bowl, I'm not naming a Super Bowl MVP because I'm not naming a Super Bowl MVP until the teams have been named for the Super Bowl.
So I'm saying that the team, the Patriots are going to the Super Bowl. That's what I'm saying.
All right. So if I said
I
the
don't know, man. The playoffs are something different in the NFL.
49ers
get it,
are
it's
making
Tom
it to the Super Bowl, who would be their Super Bowl MVP? Can a defensive player win Super Bowl MVP?
Anybody can play
Yeah.
Anybody can win MVP.
All right.
It's the
Nick
flippin-
Bosa.
I'm going Nick Bosa then.
Nick
Right.
Bosa or Richard Sherman. Because Richard Sherman knows what to do in the Super Bowl.
He's been there.
You run the football on a freaking 1 yard line when you have beast mode.
That's what you're doing in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Thanks for the extra ring for Tom Brady, by the way. Appreciate it, Pete Carroll.
Yikes.
Really appreciate it. Oh, and thank you, Dan Snyder, for the extra Super Bowl ring for Tom Brady again for blowing a 25-point lead when you should be clearly running the ball instead of throwing it. You two are the reasons why he looks so good.
Damn, so you're saying he wouldn't be that good?
I don't know, man. You know, to be great, you got to have a little luck. To be great, you got to have a little help on your side. That's just the way it rolls. I'm not going to sit here and say Tom Brady just lights it up every Super Bowl. He's had some help from the opposing teams, but what makes him so great is he doesn't beat himself. He doesn't beat himself, and the Patriots doesn't beat themselves.
Well, you heard that. Amari Branch does not think Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time.
He is the greatest NFL player of all
And
time.
that will conclude episode 2 of the podcast.
Well, the NFL section.
Of course. I'll see you in the next one.